Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Based EDH podcast, your source for no cringe commander. This is your boy Skinny Penis.
This is your other boy, other Skinny Penis.
Yeah, better late than never, retard. And we also have our friend, motherfucking Kodiak.
Yo, what's up?
It is, in fact, you boys. We're going to keep it real with you, Chief. We didn't really have an idea for an episode.
but we're outside smoking cigars,
Yeah.
and by golly, I needed something to do.
I tell you what, we're lighting up some stogies and smoking the hoagies, if you know what I mean. Not in a gay way, though. Is nobody going to take that from there? See? It's almost like when I say, hey, guys, if we don't have anything to talk about, it's just going to be retarded.
Well, see, I was going to make a Family Guy reference, but I couldn't remember how it went. It's the episode where he eats a sandwich through a glory hole, because you said hoagie.
What the hell?
It's the app called Grinders.
Hey, you got Grinder on my grinder. Thanks, man.
Capicola, also known as Gabagool.
Gabagool. Yeah, which, by the way, everybody's getting a free piece of Gabagool with each booster pack of Streets of New Capenna. Thank you,
nice.
Wizards.
Dude,
finally listening to the people they want.
I can't wait for the special collector's edition, The Sopranos.
Yeah, where an
secret
actual Italian mobster just comes to your house and fucking beats the shit out of you.
And then fucks your wife.
Bruh. Yo. So, boys, I want to talk about two-colored commander decks.
No, that's gay. We're not doing that.
You don't want to talk about two-color commander decks?
I'm putting a
I already have the background up.
I forgot where I asked.
God damn it.
2-1. You're outvoted.
Oh, get fucked.
Kodiak, you don't have a vote. You're not
You know
part
what,
of the
Kodiak?
show.
New co-host.
I get a quarter of a vote. You still lose.
Fine, but I'm taking half the microphone with me.
Do it like King Solomon. Like King Solomon with the ladies with the baby, and like, yeah, you know what? Cut it in half. They each get half. Oh, all right, said one lady. The hell did you think was gonna happen?
What kind of mom is just like half a baby?
Okay,
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. This is it, Chief.
Now, hold on here. Which way did they cut the baby? Because that's an important.
Listen, like if I was gonna have the baby cut in half, I would say it's a solid like hot dog style down the middle. One gets the left half, one gets the right half.
See, that's my thought.
Now, my response to that is hot dog sandwiches.
I would say they're more of a taco, like an American taco.
Now, are taco sandwiches?
No, they're just one continuous piece encompassing the thing, the meat.
Like almost like you could say 2 slices of bread do.
Well, it's 2 slices instead of 1 slice. See, that's the difference. Anyways,
Bogey.
We're a Magic the Gathering podcast. And today, we want to talk to you about two-color commanders. So, what I was thinking, boys, is just pull this shit out of your ass. I want to go down the list left to right. And wherever we end up, But let's just talk about some two-color commander options that we like. And if nobody has a good option that they like, we'll just keep moving on. But I want to kind of go down the list and tell me about like what makes this commander in this color identity one of your favorite commanders, whether you've played it or whether you've played against it. Sound cool?
Can we talk about partner pairings? I'll be honest,
yeah, you can talk about
the first one is Azorius, and I hate Azorius. Man.
Yeah, same. But like, I haven't played a lot of Azorius. I played against a really good Azorius Stacks deck, which I know sounds really cringe, but it was a fun deck.
I have a very good Azorius deck, too.
Yo, Kodiak, you got a lighter over there, my guy?
I do.
I gotta light up this cigar.
Do you want the lighter or the torch?
Oh, just fuck me up, man.
Torch it is.
Anyways, the first one on the left there is Azorius.
Yeah.
I don't have any Azorius. I don't have any, like,
Thanks,
actually two-color Azorius commanders where I have a partner deck with Akroma and Sakushima where you just make a shit ton of Akromas, and that's pretty based. But just straight up Azorius decks, except for Afara, who is an enchantment. She's one of the gods who says if a creature enter the battlefield under your control, ask her and draw a card. Fuck the rest of Azorius.
Yeah, so like as far as Azorius, and I know me and Kodiak bought the vehicle commanders, and
which that deck is fun.
That is a very fun deck.
Lot of fun
in Azorius. And you know what I like about that deck, Kodiak and Dakota, is that it kind of breaks the mold just a little bit of what Azorius wants to do. Azorius is known for stacks, known for tokens, known for control. Very control-y decks, very control-y colors. And that's not necessarily what Wizards did with that deck. So I'm going to give them props where it's due.
Especially only going with a 1 pilot.
Yeah,
token.
yeah, but let's bring it back. enough about women's rights. Let's talk about women's wrongs. Wizards of the Coast printed 1 pilot token for the commander decks.
And it's well, I mean, in their defense, it's not like one of the alternative commanders of the decks makes.
What about Shorekai? We didn't consider that one, did we?
What's your opinion as a newer player, Kodiak? You're getting a lot. You are the 3rd or 4th best player in our play group, depending on how you look at Sarah. But maybe Kate could probably get thrown in there too. But as a newer player, was it pretty easy to just take that Azorius Precon out of the box and play it?
Yeah, you can pretty much just pick it right up and not have any problems with understanding any of it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you know what I really like about the deck is they actually managed to put a bunch of really cool singles in that deck that I appreciate. Like the Kappa Cannoneer, super fun single. They also printed Access Denied, which I don't know if that one's in the main set or not, but it's a counter spell. Unfortunately, Kodiak does not like that one because I used it to counter his Drakuseth and then make 7 Thopters.
Yeah, that was a rough start.
That was bad. That was really bad, especially because he was having a very rough game. And I was like, I tell you what, I'm not just gonna not get 7 Thopters, man. But yeah, Azorius, like, I feel like Azorius is a color pairing for kind of like a mid-experienced player. I wouldn't want to.
I would disagree. I would say it's to fully utilize Azorius to the best of your control. It's really for upper tier players who know.
Really,
because
I can
because
respect
it
that.
lends itself so much into control and into stacks. It either forces you to know combos and how to get away. Like if you look at who's the blink guy, 2/4.
You're thinking of Brago, King Eternal.
So he lends himself very much to a blink strategy, but you got to know what to blink, when to blink it, how to build the stacks so you don't end up handicapping yourself first.
Yeah, for sure.
So it requires the hardest part about counter spells is knowing what to counter. So
Absolutely.
The last time we were playing yesterday, right? You cast a Pyromancer's Goggles.
Yes.
And Kodiak had a negate.
Yeah.
Kodiak should have negated that instantly.
The Pyromancer's Goggles.
Yeah. But he waited until you cast the Reconstruct History and tried to counter that.
Mm-hmm.
No, you did the same turn.
Was it?
It was the same turn, yeah.
Yeah, because I reconstructed history right after my Pyromancer's Goggles.
That's where it kind of comes into the fact of you have to know what Pyromancer's Goggles does. Even you didn't fully understand what Pyromancer's Goggles
Yep,
did.
I misread Pyromancer's Goggles because I was thinking, oh boy, I can't wait to double up this Damnable Pact and make Kodiak draw 14, lose 14 life. No, Pyromancer's Goggles only will copy a red spell. And I was like, man, it just copies spell. No, it's a red spell. You got to watch out for that.
So you have to. It's like knowing when to counter the tutor versus countering the thing that they tutored for.
Oh man, and I mean, talk about a good game.
That was a good game.
Kodiak ended up winning that one, and I did not see it coming. Ruhan of the Fulmori. Ruhan got his first win in like a year.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since the rock and roll, baby. Yo, yeah. But yeah, Azorius is a really cool combo, and I guess let me retract my previous statement and instead say Azorius is definitely, at the minimum, not for beginners.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yep. In Commander, at least, I think you could pull it off in like Sealed or Draft and do kind of like the weenies with a little bit of a control shell. Yeah, you can do that.
The next color pair, though, is very much for beginners.
Very much. Why for beginners? Why is that?
Because it's Boros.
Well, why is that for beginners?
Because the easiest part to understand about Magic is combat.
Okay, I can respect that. Well, yeah, no, you're right because it's easier. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good idea for beginners to go and pick up a Boros deck.
I mean, we're moving on to Boros now. Hashtag fuck Azorius.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from because of a power level thing, but when you're a new commander player, you should really. It kind of sets the expectation of you shouldn't be prepared to win a lot in commander. Mm-hmm. I mean, most nights of us kind of comes around to one of us wins one of the games. And
yeah,
we kind of end up going to. And if one person wins 2 games or even 3 games, they're having a great night.
Yeah, and usually on that 3rd game, it doesn't matter how good they're doing. They usually get like, okay, well, he's won 2.
Right.
You know what? Go ahead and log off, buddy. You're done. Yeah, but no, I could see that. Like, Boros is super easy to understand. Now we have some corner cases, but on the whole, Boros just loves to attack.
It loves to attack. It loves equipment. It loves Voltron.
Yep.
My Tiana is about as unique as you can get in Boros, unless you build like a partner deck that does not building around that.
Yeah, you'd have to get into like the Os Gear, the Reconstructor. I think Hoffrey Ghost Forge.
Strixhaven did so much for Boros.
Yeah, hey,
It was
give them
now
credit where it's
Warhold.
due. They killed the Strixhaven set.
Yes, they did.
One of the best sets I've seen in like 5 years.
The addition, like Reconstruct History, like we talked about earlier, is one of the best Boros cards.
Yep.
Just return 5 cards to your hand from your graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I feel that for sure. And on another note on Boros is that there are a couple of different archetypes you could run besides just the Combat Matters. You can run the Artifact Matters, but there's a couple of decks like well, I guess there's not a couple, but there's Fire Song and Sunspeaker.
Yeah.
If you want to go Spell Slinger, you've got that corner case. We've gotten a lot more Boros love in the past like 2 years.
To put that into perspective of how awesome how bad Boros was and how how boring it was when Fire Song and Sunspeaker came out. Everybody ignored the fact that the build around was so insane that they just said, "Oh, this deck's cool because it's not a Boros Attacks Matters." Also, one of the reasons I love Tiana. Tiana is not a Voltron deck. You're not putting auras and equipment on her. You're putting auras on other people's shit. That is a control deck, and that's why I love Tiana.
She's a surprise control deck with a Voltron Wind stapled in there somewhere. Really cool color combo. Yeah.
Kodiak, what's your opinion on Boros?
Yeah.
Have you ever played Boros?
I actually don't think I've played any Boros.
I'm trying to think of.
Like,
I only have. I guess I have 2 Boros decks. I have.
Well, you have Tiana, and what's your other?
Oscar.
You have
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, Oscar the Grouch. Yeah, he's tight. I don't think Kodiak's ever played Boros before.
I think
And
you would
that's
like
not a bad
Hoffrey,
thing.
actually.
Oh yeah, what does Hoffrey do exactly? I can't remember.
Hoffrey says.
I can
if
look it up too.
Hoffrey said he's 5 mana for a dwarf. He says if another creature you control would die,
I'm gonna find it. Yo,
exile that
got-
card from your
we
graveyard.
got more than one picture on the screen. Let's go.
Yo.
Hold on. I'm gonna hit that. Let's look up Hoffrey Ghostforge because we don't have a production team. We're just 4 dumbasses or 3. Wow, we really are dumbasses. Damn, Zam! I'm gonna hit that shit real quick.
But he says when a creature you control would die, exile it from your graveyard and create a token copy of it that's a 1/1 spirit. And then it says when that creature would die,
You better hope you're right, stud, because we're gonna find out.
When that token dies, return that card from your exile to your graveyard. And then I think he gives. What does he give your spirits?
He gives an anthem for +1 and trample and haste. That's tight.
Yeah.
He's also a dude with a hammer, so he might go in my hammer deck. Yeah. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a copy of it. Except it's a spirit, and when it leaves the battlefield, return the exile copy. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And
that's
doesn't
a
make
pretty
it a
unique
1/1?
Boros effect.
It doesn't make it a
No.
1/1?
No, it does not
okay.
make it a 1/1.
I was watching a Brawl deck gameplay video on it, and so Brawl is very limited. It was historic Brawl, but that card pool is very limited, and even then it looked so much fun that I almost wanted to build it. Like that new AO Dragon.
Oh, Owl the Dawn Sky.
Yeah. Even that, with that card, is so fun because it dies. You get a copy of it, and then you can do Owl's trigger.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a fun deck for you, Kodiak.
What, Owl the Dawn Sky or Hoffrey Ghostforge?
Hoffrey. But you better fuck around and
Hoffrey
build it,
Ghostforge.
otherwise I'm going to fuck around and build it.
Bro, I've been saying the same thing about you and the 5-color, no-color Eldrazi's. You better get on that shit. Yo, thanks, Internet, for just keeping me... Yo, y'all got any more of them pixels? Damn. Yeah, we're sitting outside for sure. You can definitely tell.
I really need to get off my
not
ass and make that Arcades deck.
Yeah. RKD's nuts. Got him.
What was that, 2 episodes ago? An episode ago? 2 episodes ago when we sat down together and did the how to build a deck. Resources we utilize, and then we kind of helped Kodiak.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That deck is now finished. It's ready to just be built.
Yep,
It's ready
just has to get
anytime.
bought.
Go to our Archidect page. It's base EDH. Just search us. You can find all our shitty deck techs that we've brewed.
Yeah,
Some of
or
them
if
haven't
you're-
made it to the channel.
Listen, there's going to be times where I forget to put the deck list link in. If that's something you want, you got to tell me. there was a guy 2 episodes was like, hey, brother, can I get the deck list link? And I'm like,
We're like,
oh,
no.
I got you, fam. It's right here.
No.
No.
I deleted the comment.
Oh, man. But yeah,
So-
Hoffrey Ghostforge kind of breaks the mold, but we got to keep on moving. Let's talk about Dimir a little bit. Now, this is kind of one I really like because Dimir is known as kind of being like the subterfuge, the information thieves, little bit of
The
control.
Among Us, if you would.
Yeah, the imposter Sussy Baka standing in electrical menacingly among us. But I have a really cool, if I may toot my own horn, Dimir deck. I built, it's actually Gyruda Doom of Depths, but I used the Gigan Godzilla art, and it is a really cool, even cost matters reanimator deck. And it is a lot of freaking fun. For me, at least. I don't know, is it fun to play against?
It can be kind of a pain just because of how controlling it can be with, having black in there with, Death Touch, Grave Recursion.
I do have a good removal package in that deck, but I'm not, to my defense, I don't have a lot of actual, control-y counter spells, at least.
That specific deck does not, you're right.
The hard part about Gyruda, and the way you built it, is it does the same thing every time, so you know what you're expecting.
Oh, I would debate that. But it does a different thing every time depending on what my opponents also have. Because I flush their graveyards as well, so I might steal their stuff.
That's true, but more often than not, even if we get we're not gonna talk about Kodiak now because most of Kodiak's decks are precons because that's where he's at in his
precons
magic
and then been adjusted.
So if you look at all my decks, right, all my decks are pretty well confined into a strategy. Whether it's +1 counters, whether it's my Dimir deck, which is Persistent Petitioners.
Which is awesome.
You can sure steal a Persistent Petitioner. But my decks are very much more focused on what I want to do. And oftentimes those goals don't align with what Gigan wants to do.
Yeah,
which is pull out big sea monsters.
Yeah, let's be honest here. Gigan is just fine big monster deck.
So more often than not, unless it's something really, really niche or really something valuable, you're not pulling something from my graveyard. You're pulling your Sewer Nemesis.
But it happens fairly often. Yeah, the Sewer Nemesis is an A1 pick in any Gyruda deck.
Remember to mill yourself with Sewer Nemesis. I always forget that text is stacked on.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got Persistent Petitioners. Do you have any other Dimir decks?
I don't.
Ever built any other?
No other Dimir deck has really done it for me. We know that the Ninja one is one of the more popular ones. Both Ninja
which one? Yuriko?
Yuriko and Shaiko Suzuki or whatever.
Suzuki
Samurai.
Something Umezawa, the new Umezawa.
Yeah. Those two are both very popular commanders right now.
Yeah, Kate actually runs the new Umezawa, and she really likes it just because she built, the anime art tribal deck.
That's true.
Because Kate spends too much damn money on this game.
Yeah.
And just pulled every artwork that you could possibly pull on the set.
There's a bug in my drink.
Bruh.
Extra protein.
Ew. We're gonna talk about that in the next section. But
eat bugs.
Yeah, eat the bugs. Live in the pod. You will own nothing and be happy. Drive the electric cars. Anyways, Dimir. What else do we got to talk about?
Looking
Dimir?
at it, Dimir might actually be my least favorite color pair based on decks I built with it.
Yeah.
I mean that or Selesnya. Which
Those
is
are
weird.
They're very polar opposites.
I feel like Dimir kind of lends itself kind of like Boros, but I guess with Boros, at least they had Strixhaven to mix it up a little bit. I mean, Dimir is kind of either graveyard shenanigans, mill, or control.
Oop, we're looking at the artwork for Negate again. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit up EDH Rec. I want to look at, while we're talking, I want to look up what, some of the top commanders in the color pairings are.
Ooh, good idea.
Are we going to retroactively go back to Azorius and Boros, or we can just say fuck them?
No, fuck them. Fuck them. They can look it up themselves. They've got computers. They're listening. They've got computers.
Fuck them in the ass. Fuck them in the other ass. Do I look like some kind of schmuck?
Yo, commander of the day, Safi Eriksdottir. We'll come back to her when we get to
You got money for that commercial, but you ain't got my money?
What are you talking about?
I am quoting the greatest movie of all time. Watch Goodfellas. If any of you people are women and Italian, let me know.
Would you just
the top?
Listen, we're YouTubers, so you can be 16 too.
Dakota, shut the fuck up.
Smoke a cigar, jeez.
Yeah, you want to be an Italian mobster so bad, but you can't smoke a cigar. Fuck out of here.
Let me know in 50 years when I have lung cancer from secondhand smoke and you don't.
I will die happy and you will still be lonely. Yeah, that one hit close to home, did it?
That was mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I want to see when you die.
I took that too far.
When
sorry,
you die, what am I gonna do?
Yo, I don't want to see this ad in the bottom right corner while I'm doing a show.
The thing is,
I don't want to see
you
it go, Daddy.
We're gonna die alone. It's gonna be something stupid. All of us are going out.
All of us are going out at the same time.
Hey, retards, we're in a magic podcast. Okay, we got Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow, followed by Wilhelt the Rock Cleaver, Anawan the Ruin Thief, Scarab God, Arami of the Dead Tide Phoenix, and we could go on for a little bit.
I'll tell you what, if you want a good budget commander, Arami of the Dead Tide.
Yeah, you know who did a really great video on that? Commander's quarters.
Really?
He built like a hyper budget.
Wasn't it like $1?
It was something insane.
Oh,
it was like $1. It was like $1 or it was like $5.
Yeah.
Look up Arami of the Dead Tide budget Commander's quarters. Insane deck.
Arami is a very fun deck.
But the thing is, if you buy that deck, you're obligated legally to buy heavily damaged copies of it, and then no deck box, no sleeves. You've got to hold it together with a rubber band.
And you can only play it on concrete.
Yeah, you got to play it on concrete the way God intended. But looking at these decks, there is a slight reanimation theme.
You know what else
with,
is funny?
What?
So if I can see correctly, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
Dude, you know what I just noticed? They're all Dimir. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
I think maybe 8 of the top 10 are cards that came out within the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Except for Yuriko. Yuriko came out in.
She came out in the Planeswalkers.
Planeswalker? What? What are you talking about?
She came out in the Planeswalker Commander decks.
Oh,
with
really?
Yeah, she came in
with
the
Animatu.
Yeah.
Animatu, the Fate Shifter, or
Yep.
Aminatu, whatever her name is, the creepy little girl.
So I
Yeah.
guess 7, but Wilhot, Anawan, Arami, Runo, the ninja guy,
Runo?
Umbris, Runo Stormkirk or whatever his name is. The dude that
Runo
flips.
Stormkirk. Oh yeah, he's down there. Don't watch The Office. I'm getting rid of this.
Who's the one with is the mono black one Toxrill?
Yeah, Toxrill, and then he's got blue in the activated ability.
So
down
I
at the
think
bottom.
that's kind of interesting is that all the Dimir ones have kind of came out recently, and they all kind of do a unique thing. You got Anawan, who's Rogue Tribal. I guess Rogue and Zombie Tribal are kind of just both tribal decks.
Yeah.
And you could probably throw Umbris
You can go
in there,
down a
too.
little bit. There's a lot of. Then you start to kind of widen out a little bit. There's lots of zombies. You got Xanathar, who's like
Xanathar's
steal
very
people's
fun.
stuff. Deck.
Xanathar's fun because kind of like what Tyler alluded to with his Geigen deck. You never know what you're gonna cast with
And that's a
with
lot of fun.
Xanathar. You're casting shit for your opponents.
But you can do it in a way that won't necessarily piss them off with Xanathar. Really fun.
I mean, you just say that they can't cast spells during
Yeah.
their turn, during your turn, which is kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Yo, okay. Speaking of eating bugs, let's talk about Golgari. Now, arguably, I think Golgari is the most popular color combination in Commander. I could be wrong. It could be Simic.
Are you talking strictly just of 2 colors or of decks that
I
contain
think-
colors?
I think
Golgari is
I would
most
be
often
safe.
represented.
I think I would be safe in 2 colors because there's a lot of people playing Golgari decks, and I have nothing to base this off of, just my own experiences. But there's a lot of what's her name, Mariner Clan Neltoth.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Gitrog. There's a lot of Savra Golgari Queen.
Golgari, really, unless you're playing one of the 3 commanders from Strixhaven, again, great job on that. You're playing graveyard shenanigans. There's just no way around
There's
it.
a lot of graveyard stuff in one way, shape, or form. And I
Unless
bet,
you're playing the base Sisters of Stone Death,
yeah.
also known as She
Dakota,
Makes Me Rock Hard.
Tell me about the Sisters of Stone Death deck. I want to
She's
hear
not
about
good, but she's a Gorgon, and
Well,
they got
I'll tell
titties
you
on
what,
their art, and that's about all
It
I
may
can
not
ask
be
for.
good, but it sure is a deck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Let's get down here. Yeah, okay, yeah, there's Mariner Clan Neltoth followed by Lathril.
Lathril has exploded in
I
popularity.
can't believe that,
But
dude.
everybody who bought that deck for $20 and sat on it, it's now like $50.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you can find that deck for $20, buy it. It's Elf Tribal. Everybody should have known it.
Dude, I can't believe that there's 4,292 decks for Chatterfang.
Squirrel.
Dude, I
mean, you
think
should have
people
known
just
that.
love Squirrel, dude.
Squirrels is like the most meme thing in Magic.
What about
surprised to see
Dina?
I'm surprised to see Hapatra that high, actually.
Dina, Hapatra. Hapatra's a cool deck with all
She
the
is.
-1 counters that you can do. Yeah. I'm not seeing any decks that I personally own here in the
Of course,
top
the
10.
Gitrog is literally the coolest Magic card of all time.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Grist is
none of
fun.
my decks are here.
Grist is fun. He has that unique effect. Who's the Planeswalker one? Scroll up a little bit.
Oh, it's
the way on the right.
Karth the Lion.
Karth the
is his
Lion
name.
is fun.
That looks like he could be a really fun deck. Dude, I have not built almost any of these
I'll
commanders.
tell you what, Virtus the Veiled and Gorm the Great are a fun little deck.
It seems like there's your
Sapling of
sisters
Kaufman.
finally.
Yeah, sisters.
Yo, let's talk about a name as one. Yo! There he is, baby. He has 69 decks. Nice.
Dude,
now I can't add
he's
mine.
below all the partner pairings. Did you
Dude,
notice
in
that?
name is one. I tell you what, he shouldn't be good, but somehow he does work. He does work.
He sneaks up on you, honestly.
You know.
It's just mana advantage.
We were talking about graveyard stuff. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's not graveyard stuff.
You can't. you can't relate to what you see now though because that's all partner stuff.
Yeah,
what's
that's a good point.
what's the wolf one? Go
Which
back
one?
up.
Which wolf one?
Oh,
The one
Wolf?
with Inara and Inara and Felthus Shadowcat.
So I saw the wolf, and I liked that card a lot, and I just have no idea what direction to go with that yet.
Yo, we could talk about that.
So what you do is you find another commander that you like that has partner, and you build around that commander, and then he's just there to make it indestructible.
Gotcha.
That's the thing. Usually in a partner commander situation, one of the partners is the dom of the relationship and the other one is the sub. Inara is going to be the sub of the relationship
She's
because
gonna be
she's
the bottom.
just there. I wanted to build Inara and what's the guy's name? Sengir the Dark Baron,
Okay,
where it's just Sengir and his pet dog. It's just a way to give him ramp and indestructible. And you just take it from there. But yeah. Golgari is a super fun pair.
But if you go back up to the beginning, I mean, I guess none of those are actually really graveyard decks.
Well,
There's
you
Marin, but
have
everything else-
Marin and you have Gitrog.
Gitrog's not really. Gitrog is a combo deck.
It's
Don't
still
be
a grave.
confused.
You have a good point actually. Yeah, he is.
Gitrog is find the dredge card that says return 3 lands from your graveyard to the battle or to your hand,
Mhm.
and it's just doing that.
Well, I can't remember what that card's called. What's that dredge card called?
I think I want to say Dakmore Salvage, but that's not right.
Uh,
Dakmore Salvage
that's
is
not,
a land
that's
with
not
dredge.
it. It's Life from the Loam.
Life from the Loam,
That's what
that's
it's
what it
called.
is.
Yeah, it's Life from the Loam. Deck.
I'm really surprised that Habatra is the 6th most popular Golgari commander.
That's really
even
cool.
ahead of,
She's
like,
a unique deck,
Stow-
too.
Slimefoot the Stowaway.
Love Slimefoot. Can't get enough of Slimefoot. All right.
One thing I have noticed, and maybe it's just out of the two colors we've seen, is there have been Dimir and Golgari. There have been 2 decks where it kind of doesn't really put you in a way, because Belby really doesn't put you into a strategy. Belby just says get 6 mana.
Yeah. She is actually unironically one of the better Eldrazi commanders.
Yeah.
She ramps them out
Yeah.
quick, and you're already in the colors to ramp them out quick. The question, now that you've seen kind of some of the top commanders from Golgari, is there a particular Golgari like commander or archetype you would like to see represented sometime soon? I know it's kind of an off the top of your head question.
A new
Yeah,
subtype?
something cool. What would you like to see besides another Gitrog?
I mean, another Gitrog. But here's the thing about Gitrog, is they don't need to make another one, because the first one fucking nailed it. Mint. 10 out of 10. There's a strategy in Golgari. I would like to see something that says whenever another non-token creature dies, go find a land, put it on the battlefield.
Yo, that would be tight.
Because then that's the perfect aspect of taking apart, like Deathrite Shaman, right? Is a perfect ramp card for Golgari flavor-wise, because you're taking a land card, you're decaying it to add a mana from a graveyard.
We gotta talk about like how flavorful the color combinations are and the identity and like the character aspects they represent. And they nail Golgari with the combination of life and death.
I mean, that's why Ravnik is one of the most popular guilds, or popular planes.
How about you, Kodiak? Do you have anything that you would like to see out of a Golgari commander?
I would think it'd be kind of cool if they could do. Now, hear me out. I know it's not necessarily the werewolf's colors,
Yo, okay.
but if you could work something, just the
All right, Kodiak, I see you.
the idea of the werewolf being,
A zombie werewolf deck?
yeah,
The
something
zombie
like
werewolf
that. That you got this recursion of you could bring back wolves from your graveyard or zombies from your graveyard, that kind of stuff.
That would be cool.
That is an interesting thought.
I'm with it. I wonder how they would
would-
execute that.
That's
it would
the
be
thing
really
that I
hard
don't.
because it would require a lot of support. You'd almost have to make it a pre-con deck.
Right. There's not really enough out there right now.
I mean, we saw that even with Innistrad.
right.
When they made Tolsimer or whatever his name is.
Tovolar.
Tovolar. They put him in the set, but even then, there's not really enough werewolf support to make him really that great. I would have much rather have seen him than the Spirit deck.
Yeah, now, that being said, the Spirit deck was a great deck, but I was so disappointed we didn't get a dedicated werewolf commander. What the heck happened there?
That's more why I was like, man, I really wish they'd have came out with a cool, because they came out with all the vampire stuff, and it was like, okay, cool.
We all thought it was coming. We all thought the
it was like-
werewolf deck was coming.
Surely there was going to be a werewolf, and there just nothing came out with.
So hear me out. Jund werewolves.
Now that would be
Jund
pretty
werewolves would
interesting.
be
I feel like Jund werewolves could be super fun. You know what deck I actually want to build? And this is kind of getting off topic. I want to build a 3-sided card commander deck where it's werewolf morph, so that all my cards have 3 sides. Because you put the werewolf face down as a morph creature, then you flip it up. Now it's on its second side. Then you transform it into the werewolf. Boom, 3-sided card commander.
Is that
deck.
how morph works? Or does morph see the...
Morph will not supersede it, unfortunately.
Really?
I know what you're thinking. It was like, oh, it's face
that'd
down.
Be cool.
Man, that'd be some great tech.
That's kind of
In Eldritch Moon, when Eldritch Moon was coming out, I looked into that.
That is kind of unfortunate with what they're doing with commander decks, where they're tying it to set now.
Yeah.
They are limiting themselves and confining themselves to a set, which is nice because flavor wise, especially in like a one-off set like New Capenna or whatever it's called.
New Capenna.
New Capenna. It's gonna be nice to see more flavor of the set than what's just in there. But by doing that, they're hamstringing themselves, so they can't just make a Jund werewolf deck now.
Yeah.
It's nice that we're getting more commander product, but at the same time, they're restricting themselves and almost in a sense they're reducing their creativity.
And you also have to consider that because Wizards of the Coast has completely taken focus of Commander and the cash cow that it is, it kind of kills a lot of the spirit of what made Commander special. Because back when I started playing Magic, at the end of cons, like right as Fate Reforged came out. And when I started playing Commander like a year later or so, maybe a bit less than a year, building a Commander deck was really something special. Because you weren't getting cards that were made for Commander unless you got... I mean, this was back in like 2014, 15. One time a year, you got Commander-based cards. And so if you saw a legendary creature, then you thought, okay, cool, if I can do something with this, that was your idea.
Yeah.
That was you doing that. That wasn't Wizards doing it.
Right.
And now it's Wizards doing it. Now Wizards makes the 5-color Shrine Commander for me, who wanted to play Shrines. So it kind of kills a little bit of the magic with that sort of thing. But I still would like to see like the Jund werewolf deck or something like that.
I don't know the full history of Commander, which is kind of weird. With how much I play it, but like they made Commander decks in 2011.
Yep, 2011 was the first Commander decks, and they had Riku.
Start?
So from my knowledge, Commander was just a thing that like Sheldon Menery and a couple of his buddies, they were judges. They were judges like judging modern or standard. I don't know what they're doing, but there was like a low stress way for them to play Magic, low money value way to them play Magic, and they would just go and play this BS format that they made up. And they would call it Elder Dragon Highlander, based after the Highlander movies, because there can only be one as the motto of the movie.
Dragon.
And only the original Elder Dragons could be your commander. And you could only build cards that were inside the color identity of those Elder Dragons. Which is why the 21 commander damage rule is a thing.
Yep.
Because they're like, there's no... After getting hit 3 times by one of these monstrosities, there's no way you live. So that's just a rule.
Yep.
And it's really cool because it makes the game flow really nicely.
And it's a great way to balance life gain decks. Otherwise, everybody just build a life gain deck.
Absolutely. Yeah. With 40 lives starting, it's easy to go life gain. But yeah, and I don't know what years they were doing it. I think I was listening to... Oh, what show was I listening to? I can't remember the name, but there was a podcast.
Freshmen in high school. Yeah. It was big enough that Wizards said, "Let's test the market with this."
Yeah, 2011. You got to think that's Skyrim.
Yeah.
When Skyrim came out over 10 years ago, that's when Wizards started focusing on it, and now they've had 10 years to realize this is where the money's at. Let's give these fat nerds what they want. Hey, Kodiak, you got that lighter still, buddy?
We're getting way off topic here, but fuck it. That's kind of like what's interesting is that Wizards supported Commander, but they didn't make Magic about Commander. Where now they're making Magic about Commander, and mix that with a pandemic that, of course, everybody overreacts to, and then ends up shutting down entire countries and everything for 2 years. Like, are we at a point where like Modern and Legacy and even Standard or Pioneer are ever going to be as big as they were?
Well, think about it, Dakota. There was one time when I didn't understand how like events worked. I showed up to Hobbytown in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I sat down and I started playing cards with one of my friends. And I had 2 fat neckbeards come up to me and say, "Hey, can you guys move?" When there was all the other tables were open. And I told them to piss off because I was here first and you've got all these other spots to sit down at, right? Now, I felt bad afterwards because I didn't realize that you have assigned seating when you go to some of these events, and that they had assigned seating right where we were, so they asked us to move, and they were totally in their rights to do so. I felt bad about it afterwards.
Either I got pissed on by a bird or it's starting to rain.
Yo, but anyways, the modern trash, if you will, really looked down upon the filthy Commander casuals that we were. And now it's the opposite. Now the modern players get up out of the table so that the Commander players can come play. I don't think Commander's completely taken over the popularity that Standard and Modern had.
You know why so many Modern and Standard players hate Commander?
Why?
Because it requires them to have more than one friend.
Oh, Dakota, you fucking killed him.
I just thought of that just now. Anyways, Kodiak, what's your take on all this? What's your opinion on the history of Commander? Because, I mean, you started playing for the same reason I started playing, which is that you had a new friend who was interested in this thing.
Late 2017, 2018.
That you wanted to try.
Buddy.
You had already been a little bit, and you've done, I don't know if you ever...
And he built Tishana.
If you ever fucked around with Magic, but I played Magic like 3 or 4 times with Tyler. But then he's like, let's play Commander. Let's try this format, because he built a deck with the Flying Zebra.
Yep.
And I had to play it.
Arcades Actually, I built 2 decks to start with, and I kind of built them at the same time. But funny enough, the first deck I actually truly built for Commander was Tobias Andrian.
Well, you had
which is one of the worst creatures of all
OG
time.
Werewolf one.
Oh, I forgot about OG Werewolves. Yeah, I don't remember which one actually came out.
And you ended up making a deal on that one. That was the first Mythic you pulled too, and you sold it
That's
for
right.
a shit ton of money.
So the reason I decided to get into... No, you're right. I guess technically my first deck was a Werewolf deck.
Yeah.
Because I pulled a foil Ulrich of the Krallen Horde, and it was in the same pack as a Tameo from Eldritch Moon.
Based, love Tameo.
So
Can't
I pulled
have
a double.
Tameo.
I pulled the double mythic pack, and I'm like, I can't get rid of this. I got to do something with it. I'm like, oh, screw it. I'll build a Commander deck. Hey, Tyler, it turns out Werewolves fucking suck in Commander. Surprise.
Yeah. But I remember, and I sat down. We were in room 306, baby, room 306 gang, and we played a game of Commander, and it connected to me in a way that it had no other game did. The flavor, I think, is what did it for me. And I sat down, I said, you know, I really like that.
Does that mean your first game of Commander was with Arcades Sabbath?
Yeah.
Yo, let's go. What a way to start. And the only reason I had that Arcades Sabbath, not the Sabbath, was because some guy was in Hobbytown in Lincoln, Nebraska. And they do this thing in Hobbytown called the 500. And you can get a stack of 500 cards out of their bulk for $5. If you find a mythic in there, good on you, man. You just get it as part of your $5. And the guy was like, hey, does anybody want an Arcades Sabbath? I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Can I see it? And he hands it to me. I'm like, oh, cool, an old Elder Dragon. Don't know what I'll do with this, but yeah, I built a deck out of it. So thanks, bro.
You'll never hear this, but... though.
Yo,
Gruul.
What a freaking segue. Let's talk about Gruul. That's next on the list. I built a Gruul deck today.
What?
I
actually the Tovar?
No. I built Stonebrow, hero of Moldiah. I can't remember what he is.
Hang on,
but
real quick. I got a fart on the mic.
No, you better not fart on my fucking mic. I will unironically punch you in the left testicle.
Oh, got a fart on my roommate's door.
Let me put my cat on the mic. Yeah, so Gruul. Now
I love Gruul.
You want to talk about a new player-friendly color?
That is very true.
Now it's the exact opposite of Azorius in that manner. Gruul is very, very friendly. Why? Because burn, smash, fight, win. That's why.
Yep.
Gruul embodies the whole wild savagery of nature, and I love it. And there's a lot of really cool commanders you can actually get into in Gruul. Let's go I'm going to head up that EDH rec page.
Now, am I doing it completely wrong where I'm a fairly newer player? I don't have even anything remotely close to Gruul.
Yeah, you have a mono red deck, and that's like your best deck is your mono red Magda, which we didn't know is actually tier 1 competitive if you build
Magda
it right.
That
Magda
completely started off as a joke.
Oh yeah, build Magda, dude. That'll be fun to make
That's what
treasures,
it
get
dwarves,
dragons.
Like,
So is Tovar
Yo,
really?
Tovalor's
Tovar's
number
the
one
number
Gruul
yeah.
commander. I did not see that
I
coming.
can't believe I can't believe Omnath is
I can believe Omnath. So you got to remember Zendikar. Right when I actually started to get good at Magic is when Battle for Zendikar came out really recent after like the cons block, and I tell you what, Omnath has been popular, and I guess he stayed there. But I wouldn't guess he was number 2.
I wouldn't. Omnath is very powerful. Xenagos, any of
babe.
the gods are so powerful because they just say, hey, this thing that's already super hard to remove, now it's doubly harder. Enchantments are already the hardest type to remove. Hardest permanent type to remove. Now they're just all indestructible. They're not creatures most of the time. I mean, the majority of people end up building their decks to where Xenagos isn't a creature.
You can build them to be creatures if you want to go that way, but Xenagos says at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature.
Right.
So why would you care that he's a creature? You don't care. You want him to pump up your, I don't know, what's your big creature?
Is Wart the Raid Mother really the number 6? Man, I'll tell you what, I'm glad we looked this up because I did not expect any of these.
Super interesting. I didn't think Nikia of the Old Ways would be here. I love to see Wolfgar of Icewind Dale on.
Kodiak also just fucked off.
Yeah, Kodiak went to go. I think he went to go pee or something. But look at now. We talked about Golgari's going to be Reanimator. Well, we were kind of wrong, but we're definitely right on the super aggressive nature of Gruul. And Gruul, I mean, apart from Wart the Raid Mother, who's actually Gruul's Spellslinger,
which is based.
Yeah,
and Klothys is actually control.
Klothys God of Destiny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how you build a Klothys God of Destiny deck.
But Wolfgar.
How do you build that control?
Omnath really is beat down. Rurikthar is beat down. Vrondis is beat down. Nikia is beat down. Xenagos is beat down.
Nikia's kind of beat. Nikia's big Hydra deck.
Which do what?
Beat down.
Beat down,
yeah,
baby.
Beat down, no. Yo, I'm gonna keep scrolling down the list. I bet we're gonna find more of the same.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Ice Shaper is that high?
Svella. Rada's cool, but let's talk about Svella. She makes a unique token called the Icy Manolith.
Which is just a Manolith.
Yeah, but it's a snow artifact, bro.
Thalath World Sculptor is a fun card. I just really like the art on it.
Yo, real quick, though. Halar the Fire Fletcher. So, I don't know if you know this story, but when Brawl was just becoming a thing, so I want you to imagine, it's 2018.
Right.
Mid-2018. Wizards of the Coast just revealed their new format that they're designing called Brawl.
Which is Standard Commander.
Which is Standard Baby Commander. And they had a huge event. The first Brawl tournament happened. And one guy built a Halar the Fire Fletcher deck, and he took the tournament. Do you want to know how he took the tournament? He was the only Brawl player that showed up. And so he won with his Halar the Fire Fletcher Kicker Tribal Gruul Brawl deck. And he won it. Crazy. Yeah, I might be interested in building like Klauth Unrivaled Ancient. Just because Cool Dragon.
Right.
Phylath World Sculptor. That was a deck I was considering building for Randon when she came out, Kodiak.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's super easy because it's just a 6-cost commander. Well, no, it's 6-cost commander, but we're super casual.
It is the opposite of the Avenger of Zendikar.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Gruul Avenger of Zendikar in the command zone, where he enters, he's going to make you a bunch of plants equal to your land total. Your basic land total, I should say. And then every time another one hits, you pump up the plants.
Yep.
Yeah. Has a really cool altar art, too. Borborygmos, Chishiro, he's brand new. I bet you he comes down later.
Either power creep is a thing.
Grumgully.
Or Commander's Rise is a thing. But newer commanders are higher up.
Yeah.
Which you would think, you got Xenagos up there, right? Xenagos came out in, 2014?
Yeah, Xenagos came out right before 2014.
How many unique decks are there for Xenagos?
This is saying 2,290.
How many unique decks are there for Tovolar?
Well, I don't know how to find that off of the top.
However many
you click.
No,
is that this number?
Yeah, that's how many unique decks have been created using Architect.
Oh, right on. Yeah, Tovolar doubles Xenagos almost.
And it came out not even a year ago.
I guess people really wanted to build werewolves. I guess werewolves are more popular than we thought they were.
But even if you look at Nihilith, right? Nihilith only has 500 less decks than Xenagos. And Nihilith's a Fight Matters deck.
Which was cool because she's kind of unique in that way. I don't really know of any other fight commanders.
I mean, and those are decks that are, a year and a half old, 2 years old. So is power creep that big, or is commander blowing up that fast, or is it a combination?
Well, they're also designing for commander.
That's true.
So you're going to see more of these versus you're not going to see whatever L's Dragon is his name. I can't remember what his name was. There's some dude. I bet you if I go to the bottom of the list, he's like from Legends. Something L's Dragon. Yeah, I'm not seeing him here. There he is. No. Marhalt L's Dragon. You're not going to see. Look, 14 decks.
Yeah, 14 unique.
Yeah. Do you want to pay 6 mana for a 4/6 Rampage 1? Do you know what Rampage does, Kodiak?
Not off the top of my head.
Me
Would you
neither.
like it?
Me
Rampage
neither.
says for every creature that is blocking this for every creature besides the first creature that is blocking this creature, it gets that much. So if it's
Wow,
Rampage,
look how much you want us to. Are you ready to come now? What,
so
special?
If 2 creatures are blocking him, he'll get +1/+1.
Kodiak, can I get that lighter again? I keep talking and not smoking my cigar.
You're good.
Smoke. Are you smoking yet? Yeah. No,
No,
but really
stay
cool.
Stay based for the 15th unique deck for base DDA.
Thanks, buddy.
We're gonna get.
Yeah.
We're
Burn,
gonna.
smash, fight, win. Burn, smash, fight, win. That's what rule is all about. Let me go back to our little background here and talk about our next color combo. Is it? In fact, it is.
Is it?
It is. It is. It really is. Yeah. So
Is it?
I feel like
Is
even Kodiak. You know what? We're gonna make Kodiak maybe look stupid because he's kind of new, but we're gonna test him. Kodiak, when you think of red blue, what kind of an archetype of a deck do you think of?
Well, I mean,
Let's see if the new player knows.
based off of just the individual colors, it seems like a very control burn
Okay, that's
Where-
not bad.
where you're really controlling the board, but then you can take, just because I don't know that many cards off the top of my head, just like a lightning bolt, and you can kind of just pick away at what you want.
So you're pretty much on the right track. The thing about is it tends to lead heavily into Spell Slinger.
Spellslinger and card
But
draw.
But Niv Mizzet Perun might be Spellslinger, so is Vayrant. Joyra is not Spellslinger. Locust God is not necessarily Spellslinger, neither is Brutaclad.
The other thing that Izzet does, that I would argue all of those besides Brutaclad do, are they very much love combos. And all of those, Joyra especially loves combos. Storm, all that shit. Locust God
Storm.
loves combo.
Are you storming yet?
I don't
Thanks,
know.
Kodiak. I'm
I
going to
don't
need
know
that
if
back in about
Niv
30
Mizzet-
seconds.
I don't know if that Niv Mizzet does it. Brutaclad is such
Which
a
Niv
unique...
Mizzet? Perun?
Yeah, is that the one that
Perun?
combos with
So Perun-
Curiosity or
Dude,
whatever it is?
every Niv Mizzet freaking combos with Curiosity. Actually, I don't know. But I think it does because Curiosity says when it deals damage, draw a card. Yeah, Niv Mizzet Perun would see that and say, oh, you dealt damage? Cool. Wait, hold on. No, you'd have to draw a card, then Niv Mizzet would deal damage, and then Curiosity would say, hey, you dealt damage, draw a card, and Niv Mizzet would
Yeah,
say, hey,
so it would
you blah,
combo.
blah, blah. And so you wombo combo, draw cards equal to somebody's life total.
This is how far we've come. That Mizzix of the Iggs Magnus used to be tier 1, top tier, the best deck you could build, and now it's the 9th most popular commander you can have.
It was a super popular commander for a long time.
Power leads to popularity because people like to win.
So on the topic of Mystics of the Magnus, so I listened to a podcast called the Legendary Creature Cast, and they do a pretty good show. They really do. They do a longer episode, kind of like we do. And I guess one of the guys built Mystics of the Magnus, and he loved it, but it just became so oppressive, and it did the same thing every time that I guess he doesn't play it no more.
I think Hinata's going to end up the same way. I think everybody's going to love Hinata, and then they're going to
Hinata Dawn Crown?
Then they're going to realize
Yeah,
casting Magnum
it's-
Opus for 2 mana is just not really worth it.
Yeah, it's or
It gets boring
Comet
after a while.
Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, casting Comet Storm all the time. Although it's really fun, it's really cool. But
The Breaches... and
Breaches and Malcolm. Now
that is a base deck.
That's a cool deck.
base deck.
That's a
That's
cool
an
deck.
Is it pirate deck right there, baby.
In fact, it is Pirates. Yeah, Krark and Sakashima. So you just get 2 Krarks,
That's
and then
funny.
you just are flipping coins. Hey, you want to talk about a jerking yourself off deck? Hey, everybody, sit here and watch me flip coins for 45 minutes. And
OG,
Okay,
yeah, you won.
Cascade.
OG Joyra.
You're right. You're right. You're not wrong.
OG Joyra used to be a very popular deck too.
Yeah,
And
and
now
the
she's
new
all the way-
Joyra is so simple because her hoop to jump through is so fucking easy. All she says like, oh yeah, just cast a spell, do shit you're already gonna do, and just draw a card.
Yep.
Like a man.
That's like every
old Joyra.
ramp
Where's
artif-
old Joyra? Oh, she's right.
Every artifact that taps for mana, you
I
just
got the
throw it
hiccups.
in there, and
I
then
gotta
you just
dip
end up
into my-
storming Grape Shot for 1,000.
Got to dip into my Jaeger and root beer. I'm
Alcohol
like,
cures all.
oh Lord. Oh,
One thing I'm
Oh,
noticing
thank
is
you.
that there is a lot more variety. I don't know. I want to say variety, but like there's a lot more. I don't know. There's a lot of different flavors in Izzet that I'm kind of
yeah.
noticing.
I mean,
There's
let me
not-
let me look at like the top 15 or so, and I'll count how many spell slingers I find. 1, 2, maybe 3,
3.
4.
No, he's an
Oh,
artifact.
is the artifact? No. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. This has got to be 4 because you got to
Yeah.
cast your spells to blah 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 blah. 5, Is Riel 6? Because she's wheel dot deck.
So that's 6 cards out of the top 10.
7.
Where I feel like mostly it was 7 or 8 out of the top 10. Kind of shared a thing.
8. Yeah, so like out of the first 15, over half
About
of them are
55%,
Spellslinger.
60%.
Yeah, Spellslinger. Thank you, accounting major. Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun, but it can also be kind of a pain in the ass because you don't have great ramp, and you've got really good card draw, but you've kind of got to go down the combo route, I've found. If you want to really
Unless
win.
you're playing Breaches and Malcolm, which is extremely based.
Dude, what do you do? Let me look at Breaches and Malcolm.
That's Pirate.
So Breaches says whenever one or more pirates deal damage to an opponent, exile a top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You can play them this turn, spend mana like it's anything. That's cool. Malcolm says whenever one or more pirates deal damage, you get treasures. Okay, so you want pirates, attack people, steal their spells.
The other thing we're noticing is that there's a tribal commander in every single top 10.
Yo, that's cool.
That is kind of cool.
Tribal commander, it's because it's so easy to build.
Do you have an Is It deck, Dakota?
No. I had a Brutoclad deck. I took it apart to turn it into a 4-color artifact deck.
Gotcha. Is there an Is It deck that interests you at all?
No.
Really? Nothing in the last X amount of years?
I had an idea with the one that doubles
what if we go down the list a
casting
little
triggers. So if you go all the way up to the number 2 most popular.
Oh, I went too far.
I had an idea
Veyran,
of
Voice of Duality.
doing a token deck with all the what's the ones? Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell or a non-creature spell, create a token.
I have no idea.
All the Shark Typhoons, all the...
just any particular effect that does that?
Yeah, because it doubles
so then
it up.
you make your spell
token
and then
down.
Okay.
But
I can see that. Veyran could probably be a fun Voltron just by like casting your team or battle rages or your brute strength
and
that
getting that double effect. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, not really. Like I said, I like the Brutoclad deck. I built the Brutoclad deck the same time you built the Brutoclad deck for Ian.
Yeah. That was funny.
But it's either combo, it's artifact, it's card draw. I mean, none of them really do it for me.
Mm-hmm. So let's see where my commander is. So I have an Is It deck, and it is Jorian Ruin Diver. Yep. And my Jorian Ruin Diver deck is a Dragon's Approach deck, which if people don't know, you pay 2 and a red for a sorcery that says deals, 4 damage to each opponent?
And 3.
Is it 3 damage to each opponent?
3.
Yeah, you deal. Yeah, because it's a lightning bolt to each. So it's 3 damage to each opponent, and then you can exile 4 cards from your graveyard and this spell named Dragon's Approach. Search your library for a dragon, put it on the battlefield.
Yes.
I run like 3 dragons in that deck. One is Niv-Mizzet Faroon. Niv-Mizzet Faroon, Hypersonic Dragon, and I think I run like a Hellkite Overlord or whatever it is.
Hellkite Tyrant, maybe.
Hellkite Tyrant, yeah, the big dumb 10 mana one or whatever it is. Yeah, there's a lot of fun ways you can take Is It, but I've took apart like 3 Is It decks.
I did brew the pirate one that steals things from opponents' hands. If you go one down lower and second from the left. Zara Renegade Leader, I think is her name.
Zara Renegade Leader. Oh, Renegade Recruiter.
Recruiter.
She's pirate.
Yep. She was interesting where it's kind of like where you just take your opponent's stuff and use it to beat them down.
Gotcha.
And I also like Arwen, the Shifting Flamer, the Sphinx.
Yeah, that's a cool commander.
Pretty cool, but you have to... A lot of Is It decks, you kind of don't really care what your commander is. There are some that you have to build around, but really, a Niv-Mizzet versus an Alrin, you don't really care. You're kind of building a combo deck.
Yeah. I feel like Tawnos is super underrated as well. Because it's like...
EDH Deck Building just made a video on him being underrated.
Did he really?
Yep.
That's a great channel.
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's not a whole lot of pirate.
So, Commander Legends did a lot for the pirate. Dargo is apparently a tier 1 competitive one where you can...
Because you can wombo combo him with Jessica.
Yep. And you turn 1 a Dargo.
Yeah, it's insane. Actually insane. But you need things like... You need 0 cost mana rocks. Yep. And you need
you're taking a 30-cent commander and trying to get into a $1,000 deck.
Yeah, seriously. Yo, what is this? What is this Tibor and Lumia?
So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you deal 1 damage to each creature with flying or something like that.
You play a blue spell, creature gains flying. You play a red spell, it deals 1 damage to each creature without flying.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're doing there.
Cool. They did a game night episode with it with Numat the Nummy.
You know, that could be really fun if you had a Torbrand in the deck somewhere. Like Torbrand's Secret Commander.
Or you just give him Death Touch.
Yeah. That's really cool. All right, back to the list. What is next on our 2-color topics? Orzhov.
I have two Orzhov decks, both helmed by the same person in Commander. Both of them helmed by Lisa.
Yeah,
Just two
except
different
for
versions.
different Lisas. So honestly, now there's a lot of things that people like to do when they see the 2-color commanders. People like to oh, that's really cool. So there's a lot of personality and character traits around different color combinations. What color combination am I? And I think Dakota's Orzhov. He's Orzhov, or he might be Mardu.
When I first took the test, the which rack or which guild do you belong to, I was Orzhov.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that he's evil, but that means he's ambitious with also a bit of unity.
And look at that, I also have the top 2 commander decks, baby.
Let's go.
I have.
Let's go.
Let's go,
and
baby.
My wife just built Furia Judge of Valor because she wanted an angel deck, and I'm like, Sarah, please, if you build the angel deck, if you build mono white, you have to go really expensive with it for it to be good.
Yep.
But if you just add 1 color in, you can basically do the same thing and have it be way less costly because you actually get draw, and you actually get some more removal than just the basic white staples over removal.
I kind of have 2 angel decks actually.
What do you mean 2 angel decks?
Because I have an Azorius angel deck.
Technically, yeah.
Because I just make a shit ton of chromas, and the chromas are angels.
Does that really make it an angel deck?
Yes.
Though? Okay, cool. Yeah, so Orzhov likes, in the lore, they're kind of the money lenders, the don't cross them guild that has connections everywhere. They've got the money to make things happen, and even if you owe in life and die, you'll owe them in death.
The best way to describe Orzhov is what Modern has been playing an archetype for years, which is called Death and Taxes, where every time you do something, it's going to cost you something.
I feel
If you tap a million, if you cast a spell, it's going to cost you some life. Think of Campbell, the allocation. If you, whatever you're doing, you're paying something for it.
Yo, why are we in Orzhov Angel Tribal? What did I click on?
That
accident?
makes sense as to why.
Maybe we're fucked up.
Why it's just angels?
Yeah, I got to sit there talking. Oh yeah, I must have clicked it on my way down here. Oh, okay. Well, Lisa's still number 2.
Teysa is number 1.
Teysa is so powerful. I'm surprised we don't have a Teysa in our deck.
I'll tell you what, I do have a Brina deck too, so I actually have 3 Orzhov decks. Orzhov might be my most represented color identity for 2 colors. Brina's fun.
Yeah, Brina is super fun. And my thing is, I always feel bad whenever you play Brina because it's as soon as you start saying to people, oh yeah, you can attack this person and you can go draw a card, I'm like, you bastard. I know what you're doing. I know what you're up to. I know it. I hate the Antichrist.
That's why I was at
I hate the Antichrist.
That's why I was at 40 life when y'all were underneath 20 and I still lost.
Exactly.
Thanks to Kate's combo deck.
And I had a Parhelion that just kept coming after him. But yeah, I lost that game too.
Again, giving kudos to Strixhaven. Killian is a deck that a lot of people like.
Wow, he's only got 1,500 decks, but still 1,500 and he's in 5th place.
Right.
So Killian's really cool because you can play the stacks route with him, but you can also play the oppressive auras on my opponents, or you can play the kill spells matter, or you can play Voltron with him. He's a very good Voltron commander with 2 prevalent abilities for Voltron. Absolutely awesome. And I love that he makes your murder cost black, and that your demolition technique or whatever it is, destruction technique.
No idea what you're talking about.
It targets something and you can demonstrate it, and your opponent copies and they make treasures, and it's fucking wild.
But for Orzhov, really, for flavor, Campbell is just the perfect card. It explains exactly what Orzhov is trying to be.
I actually built this deck for my uncle.
Yeah.
Because I built a Slimefoot the Stowaway for Jordan. I built a Melik, Is It Paragon for Nicholas. And then they're like, yeah, Dad wants to play too. I'm like, great. I'll crank you out a $25 Campbell console allocation deck that will clap both of you.
and you and I both know how much we love Shadrick Silverquill.
Dude, I love Giga Chadrick Silverquill.
Even though me and him would have built it 2 different ways.
Well, dude, you could build him too and slap it up on the show.
I could.
Are you going to build Voltron? Yeah. There's a lot of cool commanders.
Regna the Redeemed.
I'm trying to find a theme here besides just your death and taxes.
And it's kind of what Orzhov does.
Because Teysa is death matter. She's a death harmonicon, and then you got Lisa, who is just keep my commander out as much as possible. So she's kind of really generic, which I feel like is why she's still high on the list.
That's probably true.
Athreos is, well, let's be honest. Athreos is popular because of the command zone.
Yep. Athreos is Shadowborn Apostle deck.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised that they have that many unique decks for it.
What you think in there, Kodiak? Do you see any commanders on the list that kind of catch your eye? Anything that looks interesting to you?
I'm surprised. Not to cut you off. off here. I'm surprised that Orifant deck, if you go to the second row.
Aura, Skyclave, Hierophant?
Yeah.
Hierophant?
That he
Cleric
is
Tribal?
top 10.
It's because people want to play clerics. People want to play clerics, man.
Name one good fucking cleric.
Aura, Skyclave, Hierophant.
No, dude, checkmate. You got me.
Tabarax, the mono black one. Yeah.
So the thing is, as being a fairly newer player, I kind of have a difficult time with Orzhov because it's still in the. It's
Keep
still
this going.
along that
Your
lines.
boy's got to pee like a racehorse.
It's still in the lines of. I know you have 40 health, but I have a hard time paying life to do stuff.
All right,
And
now
that's kind of where I run into a lot of my issues with black.
based EDH. This is the portion of Tower peeing. We're gonna go follow him and listen as he empties the main drain. Follow us.
It's like that. It's that part of thrift shop.
Piss.
Smells like R. Kelly's sheets.
Dude,
We're-
Towers just turned around before fully putting away his cock, and I got a glimpse of it, and kind of small.
Yeah, well, it's cold as shit, my guy. Oh, fuck.
It's dark. I don't want to hear that shit.
That and that's a problem that a lot of new players have
Is having small penises?
No,
Well, that too.
is realizing that the life is a resource. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. That's why I don't like cards like Ambition Cost, where I have to pay 3 life to draw cards.
I'm with it.
I would much rather just pay an extra 2 mana and draw 3 cards to not lose the life.
Man.
Right.
And
See,
even then, I
want that
haven't
shit on
fully
rate
gotten
because
over it.
I want to be able to draw cards and then immediately do something with them.
That's
That's what I like about it.
And a lot of the black, it's to me it seems fairly chaotic.
They
Because like
can.
you just kind of seem like you're just throwing stuff all over the place.
Man,
like
there's a lot of shitty Orzhov commanders.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, dude. I want to build Teysa.
OG Teysa.
OG
Big Titty
OG
Teysa.
big titty, thick thigh, step on me, mommy Teysa, and build it extort dot deck. Every extort card in
You
there and
brewed
just
it.
run it. Yeah, it's on my my personal page. Yo, you want to talk about Triad of Fates? Now that's a cool commander deck. It's not that powerful.
And that
but-
shows you that was a very cool card when it first came out, but now it just has no chance of competing.
Not really, but I mean, you're gonna have to really work. It's kind of like the hoop thing we talked
Yep.
about. Like each commander has a thing it wants you to do, and if you do the thing, then it gives you a reward. Each commander does this, unless it's like Tobias Andrian, which has no effects. But like Triad of Fate says, oh cool, put fate counters on things, and then tap me again. So now what I'm hearing is tap and untap me as much as you possibly can.
Yep.
So now we have to find, okay, what untaps my commander?
Paradise
That
Mantle, shit like that.
Yeah. Or 1,000-year elixir, so you can do it right off the bat.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of cool stuff. A lot of really cool commanders. Anyways, I think that's our good talk about
That's kinda
Orzhov.
all
Let's
that
keep moving.
is about Orzhov.
We got 3 left. Rakdos, baby.
Rakdos is perfectly defined as a stripper that is a serial killer,
Serial killer stripper.
aka
It's
Judith.
sadism. It's sadism.
Yep.
Is what it is. It's sadism.
Which is funny
it's
because
I revel in pain. Is
the
what
number 1
Rakdos
commander is one of the best commanders for new players. I would actually argue. I mean, we've said that a lot. Prosper is probably the best commander for a new player
Really? Why is that?
because it's such a good, powerful effect, and it's so easy to understand.
Well, he's a crap ton of ramp in the command zone.
Yep.
He's ramp and advantage in the command
And he
zone.
does not
actually.
lend himself to a specific strategy.
Yeah, super wide.
You want to build yourself
stretching.
creature, you want to build yourself spellcasting, you want to build yourself artifact, you can do it all.
Yeah. Do you you run Judith? Have you ever built anything besides Judith
I
before?
brought the Prosper deck.
You bought the Prosper deck. Is it still a deck?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
It's one of my favorite ones, actually.
They did
it's
a really
it's
good
one
job
of the ones that I
on-
most enjoy.
you made a lot of ads and cuts out of that, didn't you?
I have done quite a bit of tuning to that deck. If you have a Prosper deck, put in Porky Parrot.
Yeah, 100%. Please put in Porky Parrot because you can mutate onto Prosper. Then he has Death Touch, and that's awesome. Just to be able to ping
I am
things.
surprised that Anjay is up there, but I know she also is like a combo piece.
Anya, Angie, whatever you want to call her, is actually a tier 1 combo deck.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually a CEDH combo deck. If I'm not mistaken, correct me in the comments if you know more about CEDH than I do, which is probably most people who watch this. But yeah, she just is like, oh, cool, just discard, draw a card, and then blah, 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 blah. And she enables you to like wheel through your hand, kind of.
Where Orzhov hurts your opponents to gain you value, Rakdos hurts yourself to gain value.
Yes. Wait, which Rakdos? This Rakdos?
The color.
Oh,
identity.
Sorry, my bad. So, that wasn't intentional.
if you look at Judith, right, in order for her to go off, you have to kill your own creature.
Let's see how far down Judith is. She can't be that far down.
She's probably pretty far down.
I think so.
She's not very good.
There she is. She's in row. Excuse me.
4.
I'm smoking a cigar. 1, 2, 3, 4,
4,
5.
She's
like 53.
no.
Well, is that bad math?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
28.
5 times 5, 25 is
She's
28.
28.
There we go. Gotcha. I got that. Yeah, Judith is a cool deck. It'll do right below Wart Boggart Ante.
Which is the opposite of Wart Den Mother.
It's
whatever
got
it is.
fear. Let's go. You get some weird ass artwork.
Ian, if
beginning.
you're listening, you built a Scorpion God deck.
Ian's not gonna listen. He doesn't even listen to us in the group chat.
Give me back my Great Henge, you motherfucker. That's like a $70 card now.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Canada to kick his ass.
Is he in
And-
Canada now?
No, but he's
Close
close enough.
enough.
Oh, we're gonna kick his ass, take back the Great Henge. The funny thing is the Great Henge, if you sell it, you'll only be able to buy 1 gallon of gas. So rip. Thank you, Futurama, for mentioning that. Yeah, Rakdos really does like to. Oh God, Rakdos really does like to be the whole sadism. I'm ready to kill things. I'm ready to give pain to things, and it has a lot to do with people losing life and stuff. So like Rakdos, Lord of Riots, right here. If you make an opponent lose life, or an opponent just happens to lose life, then you can cast him. But he won't even show up until you pay that tribute to him. And he's also a 6/6 flying trample. And the thing is, creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents control. So let me put it to you this way. You swing with Rakdos, you deal 6 damage to an opponent. Now your creature spells cost 6 less to cast.
Congrats
That means
for playing an Eldrazi for 5 mana.
you are playing an Eldrazi deck. You're playing Olamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, for 4 mana.
Base.
That's wild.
Absolutely wild. He is big creature deck. I'd love to see the average bell curve of him. But yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff. Cardur Doom Scourge. He's kind of like the goad, a little baby goad commander on the cheap.
Kodiak, you have a Prosper deck. What's your opinion of Rakdos and how it plays and everything?
So with Prosper,
You both bought the Precon.
as you guys probably definitely remember, I definitely struggle with the exile effects a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, well that's
It's a lot
just
to
new.
keep track of.
It's a new
So-
thing.
And with especially with Prosper, he's got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of struggle with him a little bit. And I talked about me not liking the chaos quite as much. In Rakdos, I do love it because I feel like you're almost just like wildly swinging at everything.
Whatever
at all
happens,
times.
happens.
Yes.
Red embodies chaos so much that when
Truthfully,
you combine it with black, it
That's a
takes to
very
itself.
red character trait.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. So I don't see my commander. Oh, here he is. So okay, I have Rakdos the Showstopper, and funny enough, my Rakdos the Showstopper deck probably has my highest KD ratio of any one of my
so
decks.
hard.
I don't know why. It's a demon tribal deck because I want to play as many demons as I can and beat down with them. And then Rakdos shows up and he's a one-sided board wipe. And whatever, if he kills things, great. If he doesn't, great. I don't care. He's here to flip coins on each of your things and get around the hexproof.
One of my favorite games that we've ever played is Rakdos versus Judith, where we were just trading kill spells.
Oh, my
we were
goodness.
each both just top drawing, seeing what we could do. I kept having a Zagreus that ended up saving me left and right.
Yeah, Zagreus, the vampire one that kind of cares about
That
the
gives
party
everything
mechanic.
Stealth Death Touch.
Yeah, that could be a really fun deck.
I know Raynon said she wanted to build him.
Yeah, but she just likes vampires, bro.
I think Strefon helped her build her deck. Strefon
For sure.
was a recent commander precon that came out. He's vampire tribal. MTG finance advice, kind of like the Lathril Elves one. Vampires are very popular.
Not actual financial advice, we should say.
Yeah. Vampire tribal vampire tribal decks are always going to gain value eventually. I'll tell you what. Who's that black guy? Second from the left.
Where?
I was like, who's that black dude? There's a lot of them.
They're everywhere, man.
Next to the Eye Tyrant.
Oh, this guy right here?
Yeah.
Karavek the Merciless.
Karavek the Merciless is such a fun card. I love Karavek. Can't have enough Karavek.
Opponent casts a spell.
Too.
He deals damage equal to that spell's CMC. I mean, I tell you what, he's expensive to get out, but once you get out, that's a lot of fun.
Well, and think about it. So, if you've invested the 7 mana to cast him, right? Everybody else should have at least 7 mana, right? In theory.
That's a good point. And then you're dealing out 7
damage. Then you're dealing 7 damage every time they cast a spell. If they're using all their mana.
Something like that. I mean, that's not quite a perfect example.
No,
but yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do in Rakdos. I personally would love to at some point build Timuret the Murder King. He's super cool. You're 2/2 for 2 with he's basically an aristocrat's commander because he has 2 different sacrifice effects and you get to do things like 2 damage to target player. That's not that great, but you can pay to sacrifice a creature, pull Timuret back. So it's like, okay, cool. Sacrifice a creature. I get effect for it. Oh, Timuret dies or I sacrifice Timuret? Because Timuret, wait, hold on. Can Timuret sacrifice himself and then use his own ability to pull himself back to your hand?
Does he say another creature?
Yeah, it says pay 1 and a black, sacrifice a creature, return Timuret from your graveyard to your hand.
So you wouldn't be able to sack him to himself to return him from your graveyard to your hand?
That would be really fun if you could
Because in order for him to be in the graveyard, he would have already had to have been sacrificed.
So what you do with Timuret is you build Goonies.deck where they never say die, and you just put in things like Gutter Bones, Woe Strider. Oh, phew, excuse me.
That's Tower. We're doing a podcast.
I know. I'm
professional.
supposed to be.
We're doing this off script. Damn
it. Yeah, but that's a really cool Rakdos deck you could do, my guy. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. I'm not seeing a combo really that doesn't look fun. Like, dude, I'd be down to build Malfagor.
Malfagor is such a
Demon Dragon 6/6 flying trample for 6.
Have you ever seen his promo art?
Yes.
It looks so good.
I traded it, so I feel really bad. I had a friend back in college, and I had a Malfagor, and he had an Ojutai, Dragonlord Ojutai. I didn't realize that back then Dragonlord Ojutai was like $18, and my promo art Malfagor was like a couple bucks.
Oh no!
And I was like, yeah. He knew I want dragons. They're like, oh cool, I'll trade you something for it. I'm like, well, I've got this Malfagor, but I've got another one, and I'll trade you it for it. He's like, yeah, that's great. Worst trade for him ever. I feel really bad about it actually.
Well,
but
hit him up on Facebook and offer to suck his cock.
Not in a gay way though. But yeah, there's. You could even run, dude, Solo Vial Smasher.
Solo Vial Smasher.
That's not good, but it is a deck.
Dude,
there you go, Kodiak. There's Solo Vial Smasher with a Nara Wolvid Familiar. Give the Vial Smasher indestructible.
You're in arguably the best 3 colors too, John.
Jund is not the best 3 colors. Sultai is the best 3 colors.
I'll get that. I'd argue Jund maybe the second though.
Yeah, Jund is really fun.
Vial Smasher's your Vial Smasher that you have was one of the first ones that we really played against.
Yeah, that was one of my first decks. Gishath, Vial Smasher, and Vial Smasher and the Merfolk Boy and Gishath. Those were my. I already said Gishath.
What
Gishath,
Merfolk?
Vial Smasher, and Edgar Markov were my first 3 commander decks. And I played them religiously for a year before I built Elvish Dorn.
Oh man. Okay, that's enough about Rakdos. Let's move on. We got 2 more to go, boys. So, Selesnya.
Selesnya is probably my least favorite color combo.
Why's that?
None of the decks do it for me, man.
Man,
I have one Selesnya deck, and I don't even like it that much.
So my Selesnya deck
Selesnya deck's good.
It feels Selesnya, but it doesn't feel Selesnya at the same time. Because I built a partner combo of Ichtekik Salvage Splicer, or whatever his name is, and I built him partnered with Rebek, Architect of Ascension. And so it's Golem Tribal. So you can make the 3/3 Golem tokens with Ichtekik, but you also have things like Blightsteel Colossus, Darksteel Colossus, Mycosynth Flat. Oh, my bad. Mycosynth Flats. Mycosynth Golem.
Yep.
The Affinity one. A lot of stuff.
Who would have
fucking thought Sithis is at the heart, the top of the list?
I'm surprised Arabo is number 2 though.
That's actually wild. I think it's so funny that out of the 3 commanders that came with the cat deck, Arabo's the cheapest. Because
Right.
Arabo, well, maybe Nazan might not be that expensive. I know that Miri is like $30 right now.
That's because Miri is very good.
She's so good, and nobody plays her. Yeah. Tristani, my wife has a Tristani deck, but it kind of sucks because it's just gotten worse and worse over the years. Karametra.
You keep taking pieces away from it for your other.
Well, she never plays it, so she's not going to get the $40 smothering guide in there.
Or the $40 anointed procession.
Yeah, I know.
Or
no,
the
no, no.
$2 the $2 soul ring.
No, I didn't take the soul
Or the
ring.
$2 arcane signet.
You can have the soul ring. The Karametra, Reese the Redeemed.
I mean,
Kyler's a new addition. That's a cool card.
I actually do have 2 Selesnya decks. One is with.
Do you actually have 2
I
Selesnya decks?
do.
Because I know you have Hamza.
I do have Hamza / Tyrion Fist of Angels or whatever. Timothy Fist of Angels. But I have the
It's
best.
Torrens, I think.
I have the best Selesnya deck you could ever have. It's Selesnya Samurai Tribal.
Let's go.
And I
And,
ended up
who's your commander?
Sigarda, the new one.
Man, my man said, I really don't like Selesnya. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build like the fucking weirdest combination just to prove how much I don't like Selesnya.
I'll tell you what, though, it fucks because I'll tell you what, when you just put a bunch of $40 cards in the deck, it ends up being good.
It's so funny. Oh, man, there's a lot of new cards here. And some of them I don't actually know what they do, but I'm seeing things like Lathiel, Bounteous Dawn. That's really cool. Siona, Captain of the Pylias. I think she wombo combos with Gift of Immortality.
She probably could.
Most things sneeze and combo with Gift of Immortality, though. But I'd have to check out what actual card that is. Emil the Blessed, if you want to build another unicorn, that's base. Oh, here's your Torrens.
Yep.
Fist of the Angels.
Um,
So, Kodiak.
Go ahead.
Kodiak. Sigarda, Host of Herons, is an extremely new player-friendly deck. Because you're paying 5, you get a 5/5 flying hexproof. Okay, cool. So my commander has hexproof. That's one thing I don't have to worry about. But she also says your spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to sacrifice a permanent. So they can't edict affect you. So it's really, really hard for them to get rid of Sigarda because they can't target her with single target removal.
I'll tell you what, if you're Kate, you can't deal with that in your Sengir deck.
No, you can't deal with it at all.
Because she doesn't really run board wipes.
Fantastic Voltron commander.
Yes.
If you, I mean, you're only 2 power away from the 3 clock.
Right.
So you slap the Loxodon on Warhammer or whatever you want to slap
Or
on
like
there.
the sword.
Yeah, any of the sword cycle, get it on there.
Emil is based because anything that causes things to re-enter the battlefield is based.
Yeah, etbtrigger.deck is also a thing that you can do.
Dakota really went from big dinosaur deck to, man, I'll tell you what, if I can make a thing re-enter the battlefield 18 times in a game, I'm doing fun.
So, you know what's funny? Back in Ixalan, when they first announced that they were going to do the legendary thing with Planeswalkers, so that you could put different Jaces on the battlefield at the same time effectively, I remember when that was announced, skyrocketed the price of Captain Sisay.
Really?
Yep,
What's
because
the price right now?
Sisay is $23 by my count. And she used to be, I think before that, she might have been like a $10 or less card. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to
Right.
like Scryfall it and check it out. But she's a super fun deck because, I mean, she's a toolbox.
Right.
But you fill her deck with any legendary cards you like. So, walkers,
Yep.
creatures,
I have a Captain Sisay deck.
legendary enchantments, and you just tutor them out.
Shalai Voice of Plenty is a great toolbox commander. If you don't really have a direction you want to run, but you want to build a Selesnya deck, Shalai is great.
Well, hold on. Shalai's not by definition a toolbox commander.
I know. I'm saying
Toolbox-
she's a great toolbox commander, though.
No. She's not a toolbox commander. Toolbox is an archetype like Captain Sisay or the other Captain Sisay, or Scion of the Ur-Dragon, where you can go and tutor out whatever you need at any given moment.
Then I was misinformed by the Jumbo commander as to what a toolbox commander is.
Oh, my bad. But
Get
she
fucked,
is.
Jumbo commander.
Dude,
DJ, you suck cock.
No, he doesn't. he's like my favorite.
He's like the most wholesome.
He's the most wholesome, and just happy dude. I would love to just hang out with
Right.
DJ Jumbo Commander. He just seems like such a fun dude. I don't have anything wrong with that dude. I love his videos. But Shalai, 4 mana flying commander, she doesn't necessarily do what Selesnya is known for, and I feel like Selesnya is known for tokens.
Tokens or counters?
Tokens, counters on things. Yeah, I can see that. I can see a little bit of a control-y environment with it as well. with like Gaddock Teague.
Yeah, I guess
And a couple
that's
of things
more
here.
stacks than.
Yeah, it's a bit more. Yeah, that's more stacks. You're right. My bad. Yeah, a lot of cool commanders. I love that Driz Duerden is a fucking commander that can be played in Magic.
We talked about Miri probably being the best one, and what's her price right now? 35.
So it's $24 on
24.
Card Kingdom.
And how far down is she? But she's one of the most expensive cat commanders.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's not even a cat tribal deck.
Nope.
No,
She's just a great
She's Voltron. She's Voltron, I think.
I remember you ended up walking down a game with her because you bought the Robo deck.
And I was just
you
changing out
walked down
commanders.
the game with her.
Yep, it was insane. And I was like, wow, that's not fun. I'm not doing that again. Nazan.
Nazan.
Yo, where's Nazan? Yeah, he's right here. Yeah, you want to talk about cool, unique commander. Nazan is fantastic because you get a 5/4 for 6 mana. But the thing about it is he tutors out any equipment you want. And when it enters the battlefield, if you revealed Hammer of Nazan that way, it just straight up goes to the battlefield. Other ones go to your hand. But Hammer of Nazan auto-equips
And
by itself.
Just give
And
something
so,
indestructible.
Congratulations. Now for 6 mana, you have a 7/4 indestructible cat artificer.
Base.
Go wild. Oh, hey, would you look at that? It's Itch, Tekik, and Rebek. They're on the list.
Based.
Woo! I am a good Magic player. Yeah. But is this Sigarda Host of Herons? Is that your Samurai tribal deck?
No, mine is right. If you go up.
Okay.
Right there, right next to Miri.
Next to me. Oh, Sigarda, Champion of Light.
The reason
Man, I
I've wanted
forget
to build
that
her
there's
is
3
because
Sigardas.
her art was the prettiest Magic card I'd ever seen before, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna build her custom. Not that art, but her showcase art.
Hey, Kodiak, you still got that lighter?
I do, buddy.
Hey, Kodiak, you wanna put some input in here, man? We kind of just been talking this
Yeah,
whole podcast.
Kodiak's just been like, yes, indeed. Enjoying his Mike's Hard Lemonade and smoking a cigar.
So, I actually only have two color decks.
And it's Azorius.
Azorius with
And Prosper.
the new so I guess 3.
Okay.
Prosper,
Thanks,
the
buddy.
new vehicle. I can't
Yep.
think of what her name is.
Dempala or something?
Kotori.
Kotori,
yeah.
there you
I
go.
keep thinking of the dwarf one.
And Tashana.
Tashana.
Dude, you haven't brought out Tashana in so
Kodiak
long.
says Tashana since day one.
is absolutely garbage right now.
Yeah,
she
needs
needs
work.
a lot of work.
I bet you if we just put $20 into Tashana, we could probably double its power.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we built those just straight out of cards that we got from the 500 and everything we opened from
Yeah.
Ixalan.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, oh, cool. Look at this commander. Build
Tyler
that.
really let me
Okay.
go to Walmart 18,000 times with a Battle for Zendikar packs on the thing and just said, oh, yeah, buy Ixalan.
Oh, man. Okay. What else is on our list, boys?
We're down to the last one.
The last one.
Which
Simic.
might be one of the most powerful.
Yeah, I would 100% say it's either Golgari or Simic is the most powerful of the 2 color combos.
I would argue either Izzet or Simic, but Simic's definitely in there.
You really think Izzet's one of the most powerful combos?
Yeah.
I think you're thinking Red's more powerful than it actually is.
I think Blue's more powerful. I think you're thinking Blue is less powerful than what it is.
Yeah, but by that logic, the
What-
Simic has the ramp to back it up and then enforce it with the blue.
Yeah,
What are your
but
strategies?
the reason why I think Izzet is because Izzet loves artifacts, and
Okay.
artifact ramp is a thing.
Okay, I can see that.
Now,
I
that
can
being
see
said,
that.
I think that they're so close that ultimately it really doesn't matter. They're both
Yeah,
so
it's
strong.
all in, it's whatever whoever builds it.
Yeah,
You know, truthfully.
and maybe it's because I have more horror stories coming from Izzet decks than I
Keenan
do.
Bonder Prodigy. This
He's
fat
a
fuck.
combo deck.
This fat fuck is still one of the #1 commanders for Simic.
Volo is one of the most fun.
I would have seen AC.
AC,
I would've-
AC or
I would've guessed.
Tatiova. So have
Tatiova has got to be up here close.
so
Wow.
I play Magic Arena. A little bit here and there
Wow,
when I'm
where's
bored.
Tatiova?
She's in the top row.
Well, was she in the top row? I miss
Yeah.
her.
So I play.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I play MTG Arena and I play Historic Brawl, and I don't have a lot of cards on there, but what I do have is I spent a wild card on Coma.
Oh, Cosmo
Coma
Serpent,
is so fucking powerful.
and his token is so expensive.
It is. I mean, you first of all you can't counter it.
Yeah.
So unless you have a spot removal, and if he goes to the next upkeep, it's damn near impossible to get rid of him. And he just locks, especially in 1v1. Unless you're playing against Yasharn, which prevents you from sacrificing a Coma Serpent or a Coma
Coma
Coil.
Coil.
Coma is so strong. Just every upkeep you make a 3/3.
And you know what the thing is? I mean, the bastard costs 7 mana.
But in Simic, you don't give a shit.
No, you don't give 2 fucks. You're
7
gonna
mana
do
in
that on
Simic
turn
is-
4. You're
yeah.
doing that on turn 4.
Coma, I think Coma is. I mean, it's the 7th most popular deck, and I still think it's slept on.
Wow. Yeah, he's really cool. I'm surprised to see Lannis up so high, but I
am
guess
too.
people really like to investigate.
I am
I
more
wish Sarah
surprised
would
by
build it.
Kumena.
Sarah, so back when I first started playing Magic, and when I first started dating my now wife, she built. She's like, I want to build clues, and I'm like, well, there's nothing you can really
I'm
do
getting
with that,
such
sweetie.
a clue right now.
And so the deck was called the Get a Clue deck, and it was all about just making as many clues. And that was, she didn't care. Like, it was all to see how many clues she could make before she died.
Based?
That was the deck. It was incredibly based, and that's why I knew I had to wife her. So
I'm surprised Kumena's that high. And same thing with Rick Smithies.
Kumena really is the Merfolk commander. If you want to play Simic,
I
though,
didn't think. I figured Mono Blue Merfolk would be such a more popular one that Kumena would get dropped.
yeah, I guess not though. But people like their green, man.
That's true.
It's the most powerful color for a reason.
And
it's
I will
just
not
so-
argue that. Green is
By
by
itself,
far the most powerful.
it's-
Green
it just
is
is.
so easy to ramp.
Well, not only can you ramp, but you can actually enact things with your ramp once you ramp.
And
Wild.
a lot of ramp is also card draw. If you, depending on how you look at card draw,
Yeah,
Cultivate
I
to
can-
me is card draw, card advantage, whatever you want to say. Cultivate is ramp and card draw because it takes a card from your deck and puts it into your hand.
Dude, I think it's hilarious that Edric Spymaster of Chess is just flying man dot deck. You 1/1 unblockable or 1/1 flying creature and just win games. by
Edric is
drawing
also
cards.
a very strong politic deck because it says whenever anybody deals combat damage to an opponent, draw
True.
a card.
You don't have to build him super optimized. You could build
No.
him really fun.
You can build him with like propaganda effects and everything, and just
Yeah.
have other people attack
And just
everybody else.
and just
Incentive-
gently persuade your
Right.
your group to go after
I mean,
the other people.
Think about how much Monarch will drive you to attack somebody.
That's true. I want that one card.
And imagine if you attack somebody with 3 creatures, you get to draw 3 cards.
Yep, exactly.
I'm surprised Prime Speaker Vanifar is that far down.
You know, that's a really interesting case because Prime Speaker Vanifar came out like at the exact same time as Teysa Karlov, right? And
Yep.
everybody looked at Prime Speaker Vanifar and said, "Oh my gosh, it's a freaking birthing pod in the command zone."
Yep.
And everybody was like, "Oh, that's going to be super powerful." But then nobody built it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody actually built it. I think while Prime Speaker Vanifar could be really fun, it lends itself to doing the exact same thing every
Yep.
time. I feel like you just go up your chain until you find your win con.
And that's honestly
or
what kind
you
of
Flash Hulk.
Kinnan kind of
Well,
does.
you can't anymore. But
Kinnan kind of does the same thing where he goes combo, but his variety is there. But Prime Speaker Vanifar is the deck you bring to a contest to win prizes.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Keep scrolling down. Keep going.
Oh,
Shit.
whoa,
What'd you do?
what are we doing?
What'd you do?
Oh, we're looking at Jad's the Oracle of Arcadius.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, hold on, let me go
we're
back
gonna
to-
show you the real best Simic commander once we find it. Keep going.
Okay, I'm going.
Keep going.
What makes you think it's on the list?
It is.
It's not Gore Moldrak Salamander Tribal.
No.
You're telling me Tashana's above it?
Keep going.
Gretchen Titchwell. Gretchen Titchwell is like the worst commander of all
Keep
time.
going. Right there. All right.
Oh, what, Thrasios?
Nope.
What I missed? Where is it? Karuga?
Nope.
Tell me.
One more. The only commanders that make fractals, baby.
I'm missing it. Am I retarded?
One to the right.
Oh, Kian, Dean of Substance, and
Get out of
Ibrahim.
here with your fractals.
The
Okay,
fractal
we're going back
token
to the top of
tribal
the list now.
deck, baby.
We're going back up the 8 rows it takes to get back. Apologize to our viewers for making them witness that. No, dude, actually though, you know how Strixhaven has those multi-faced legendaries that they
And none
built?
of them are really that good.
They built them for Arena, and they work amazing on Arena. I gotta be honest, I think that is a Rule 0 partner commander thing. I don't see how any of them can really get more out of hand. Like when there's decks that play Thrasios and Timna,
Right.
and I guess that's kind of a difference between casual and CEDH, but I see no problem with running Imbraham and Kian Dean of Substance
So, to put that in
as
perspective,
partner commanders.
I've had that deck for forever. I had it since Strixhaven.
yes.
I bought it almost a year ago now. That's just crazy to think about. I bought it and turned it into a Fractal Tribal deck probably 7-8 months ago.
Okay.
Won my first game with it, because I had a spawning Kraken.
He didn't even win with fractals.
Didn't even win with
That
fractals.
was ridiculous.
I made all my other things into spawning Krakens with the Sakashima's will, and had 16 9/9s, and that's how I won that game.
Yep, and you beat up on my poor little group hug deck. How does that make you
Mono
feel?
Blue Kami is probably, Butt Crack Kami is one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, dead ass. Unironically, is really good.
But Simic, it's hard to argue that Simic is not the best card because
It's
it gives
just
you access
so
to the
good.
two most powerful resources, which is ramp and card draw.
Yep. And it lends itself really good to new players, especially when like Wizards printed AC Tyrant.
AC is the
Tyrant
best.
of Dire Straits. # money for nothing. 6 mana, 5/5, but you get to play an extra land, and when you already do the thing your deck is supposed to do by playing lands, you get to draw cards.
AC is probably the best commander deck for that. If you can still find it for even $30, that you could get a new player. For
Yep.
the price point, power level, ease of use, AC is probably it.
As far as ease of use goes, I would argue that Wyleth, Soul of Steel, is probably easier to use. Because we watched Randon brand new play AC, and she still struggled a bit because there were so many options she had. Versus Wyleth is, put equipment on creature and hit? Yeah.
I completely agree. I can respect it, and I don't necessarily disagree, but I would argue that most new players have a tough time with the idea of leaving themselves open to getting hit, that it can kind of shut down a Voltron deck.
That's true. You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword with the Voltron commanders, because you have half the people are like, oh yeah, I like this legendary creature. I feel really attached to them. I feel a bond with them, and I want to build a deck around them, so I'm going to send them out. But then the other people are like, oh, well, what happens after I send out my Voltron? Now there's 3 people, and I have an open board.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I think AC is the better one, because it gives you so much value. I mean, it's Tatiova on crack.
Yeah. Tatiova wishes it could be AC, and Tatiova absolutely goes in the AC deck.
And I love Tatiova. I've always wanted to build a Tatiova deck. But there's no reason not to now that AC exists.
Man, dude, I tell you what, I beat a neckbeard who played against me. I don't go to, like, actual shops very often, but one time I did go for, like, it was a casual commander night, but they were playing for prizes. So if you're playing for prizes, it's no longer casual commander. Anyways,
that doesn't make any sense.
so I brought my Dragon deck to play, and what do you know? I switched Dragon out and played Scion, and I started clapping cheeks.
Such a better of a card. I
And
hated
this
when
guy-
you found that out, because then you just started clapping orange.
Oh, I always knew, but it was like, man, I didn't want to do it, and then finally I did do it, and I was like, man, it's just, it turns into the same thing every time, and it's not fun.
Yep.
So now it's like, cool, if I draw into my Scion, I'm going to play him, and I'll do his fun thing, but really, Dragon really belongs helming that deck. But yeah, I clapped a Tatiova deck one time, even after he took 4 extra turns.
Base.
It was a fun game, actually. So, yeah, it was a weird dude. He like brought his own gamer chair into the LGS.
Base?
Yeah,
That's a
way too
power
hard.
move.
he went-
That's
that's-
a power
that's
move.
big dick
That's
energy.
a power move,
That's
man.
big dick energy to bring your own gamer chair into the place.
It's probably because he broke so many of the stores that they said, you got to bring your own now. So how far from the bottom is my commander?
Which one?
Fuck.
Kian?
It's way closer to
you're
the
like-
bottom
yeah,
than it
you're
is
like
the top.
You're like 3 rows. Oh, man.
It's just slightly edging out a combo pair and right below a very bad companion card.
Now, I will say, if you're going to play Thrasios, I'm totally for playing Thrasios and Kaidel.
Kaidel's
'Cause
fun.
I think that's super fun. Double partner Simic commander.
Kaidel is a banger in my Xyrus deck.
Kaidel could be a really fun deck.
I mean,
I don't know how. Like,
Windfall, net
necessarily-
4 mana.
Yeah,
Actually, net 5 mana because you drew a card for turn.
absolutely. Yeah. And then just start ramping out stuff. That could be a lot of fun.
Kaidel's probably actually the mill yourself dot deck. Where's the new Gitrog at?
You mean Grolnok the Omnivore?
Yeah.
He's right here. Which, I mean, I tell you what, I was so excited for this card. I was so excited, and then I thought about it for about an hour while I was out on
Right.
a job one day.
And it's just semi
like-
good stuff.
Man, it's just
It's just semi
so
good
it's
stuff.
not Frog Tribal. It's just mill yourself, and then exile it with a Croak counter,
Yep.
and then you can play lands and cast cards.
Yep. I'm surprised Essex isn't higher. I thought
Fractal
with
Bloom?
how much hype Essex got.
You know what? I love that he's a 99-cent card though, and he's a token doubler.
Yep.
I think that's really cool. Kind of a token doubler for the first time each turn. So anyway, But yeah, man, I tell you what, we've made it through all the color pairs.
Kodiak, what are your final words since you've said maybe 10 sentences this entire podcast?
Kodiak is here for the cigar and nothing else.
Like I said, I don't really have a whole lot of dual colors. Most of my decks are either mono or the 3-color.
Yeah.
Yep. Which color pair interests you
I
the
wanted
most?
to know that too. Yeah, what color pair and like what commander that we talked about interests you as a new player?
See, now if he wasn't listening, he's fucked.
Oh, you done looked him now, boy.
I don't know. The chaos of Rakdos.
Rakdos is fun.
I just... And it's the pure... It's why I like Ruhan. It's cool. Here's a big dude. I'm rolling a dice. I don't know where the hell this thing is going.
So what you're saying is you really should be the one with the Vial Smasher deck.
Yeah, you want to kind of be a little bit of a chaos player is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I like the chaos. Some of the chaos I don't like when it comes to spending your own life.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it's still a little bit scary.
especially, I think I really like red.
Yeah.
You could probably
Just-
build a very fun Rakdos Chaos deck. If you did a partner commander with
What, like Krark and
just a black, which one of the
well-
Sangir maybe, just any black partner.
well, you have Tevisot.
You do Vial Smasher partnered with Krark.
Krark?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a spicy deck.
Yeah.
That's a spicy deck. I wonder if that's on the list.
I know that Krark with Sakashima was pretty high up because of the Is It copy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've definitely realized I'm not a big fan of controlling decks.
And that's one thing I appreciate about our play group is none of them.
We're
none
a
of them
very
really-
Timmy-esque.
Like, one every now and then is not really that big of a deal. Like, it's...
I mean, I have a somewhat control deck, and it's my Jeskai card draw deck, and I fucking hate it.
But,
I hate having to, and I think I run 5 counter spells in the whole deck.
but the feeling of, like, just... Okay, well, here's this. Oh, well, negate.
Right.
Okay, well, here's this. Dispel. Like... you feel like you don't even get to play at that point.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the reasons I hate my Geshath deck is because Geshath has such a powerful effect, and it can hit right away, is that people hold up removal for Geshath. And then you're just sitting there.
Well, they see him coming from a mile away.
And-
He's sitting in your command zone.
and you
just like Elish Norn.
how expensive can I pay for Geshath? I remember I've had to pay 15 mana for fucking Vial Smasher.
Yeah.
That means I've cast him 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. I cast Vial Smasher 7 times in a fucking game.
Well,
Damn.
what was the one that we played when we were out camping?
Mm,
Where you had to recast your commander like 6 times.
I don't remember what deck that was, but I remember.
You remember,
I remember
what I'm
casting
talking
it.
about, right?
I think I was playing my Tormod
Yes.
and Crom.
Yeah, that's
yes.
what. 'Cause we kept
Grixis
killing
zombies.
Tormod.
I killed
Yeah, I kept
Tormod
killing
5
Tormod.
different times, and it just kept coming out,
'Cause I
out.
think you were playing Ruhan at that point. And
Yep.
you
Yeah.
and
No, I
eight-
had to block because Ruhan was
3
going to commander
straight-
damage me.
3 straight Ruhan rolls right into me, and I was playing my rune deck where I didn't have any creatures out yet, which is a terrible rune deck.
Man, that was a good game.
That
Yeah,
was
it
a
was.
fun game. When you're sitting outside playing Magic, camping, and that's what you remember out of that camping trip, that's how you know it was a good Magic.
I also remember catching fish. And...
We remember Kate's cards getting rained on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when we first made friends with Kate, we were like, oh, we just started to become friends, and all the girls were like, oh, you should come camping with us. And they're like, yeah, so she comes camping with us. We really never hardly hung out, and we all bring our Magic. It rained on us the first night there, and because of where Kate had her stuff in her bag, it seeped into the tent, and it got one of her decks. And not only did it get one of her decks, it got, like, one of her Avacyn's wet.
Yeah.
It was
an
awful.
Avacyn,
It
a
was
very nice
inexpensive,
Acroma.
Yeah.
I was
that
sleeping
was-
in a camper, which was nice.
it like made me sick to look at because here's like this new friend and I'm like, oh, she's never gonna want to hang out with us again. I was worried, but she's so cool.
She's still around us.
Yeah, Kate's such a good friend.
If you see Kate in public, make sure to stare at her.
It will make her face turn red. Yeah. No, Kodiak, I'm looking up the EDH rec page for Vial Smasher and Krark. That could be a fun deck. Like
There's
I'm looking
a
at
lot
the
of
high synergy
chaos
cards. Tavern Scoundrel. You win a coin flip, you make 2 treasures,
Based.
and
Oh.
also sacrifice a permanent, flip a coin,
Yep.
just for no reason.
Krark's Thumb. There's a card it's 5 in a red, and it says each player draws a card, or each player may draw a card. For each opponent who does, choose one at random, and it deals 5 damage to him. Can you imagine copying that like 4 times?
That would be a lot of fun, and I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it. I was hoping that it was going to pull up on this page somewhere.
Treasure Nabber is a fun card.
Treasure Nabber is so mean. It's so funny, though.
Well, the nice thing about Treasure Nabber is it's not mean. You get it back.
Yeah, but it's so powerful.
It's powerful, but it doesn't take any advantage away from you at all. It just says you cast the Soul Ring. I also get to enjoy that Soul Ring.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
One of my favorite cards, actually, is a really silly card. Fling.
Fling?
Yeah, I love it.
Yo.
Dude, then you would love the Dargo deck, man.
Dargo. Yo, you know what? You know what it could be? There's your Boros deck, Kodiak. Is you build Brian Stoutarm.
Yep.
Brian Stoutarm is a giant that has like tap, sacrifice a creature, deal damage equal to the creature's power. You get to just throw your creatures at people.
No, that being said, it's not good. But
No, it's not
there
that good.
is an elemental that's like a 13/5 for 4 mana.
You can throw it.
I think when it enters the battlefield, you have to champion an elemental. I think that's kind of the trade-off
I don't know how
because
that
it was
goes.
in my Dolina deck.
Listen, we played one game of Modern, and Tyler had a bunch of ghosts just flying around.
You guys played a game of Modern?
No, it was like kitchen table jank is what it was. It was
Yeah, I
like
wouldn't call it
standard,
modern.
quote unquote
Gotcha,
standard.
Yeah. I remember when Jack first came in to play Magic with us before he started sleeping with York College wrestlers when he was a coach. And he's like, "Oh, do you guys like play standard or what?" And I was like, "What the fuck is standard?"
Nah, dude. No, we play Commander, baby.
We play.
Y'all ever heard of Tobias Andrian?
I built this cool deck with treasures that reduces my like Stone Coil Serpent or whatever, so like 1 less to cast for each artifact.
Yo.
Not gonna lie, too, I didn't realize how many people actually play Magic.
That's what's the unwritten rule about Magic, Tyler?
Well, the rule of Magic is if they don't look like they play Magic, there's a solid chance they do.
Yeah.
But if they look like they play Magic, they fucking do. They fucking do.
I mean, when I saw Tyler, one of the first times I hung out with Tyler, we ended up wrestling in McGee, and I remember that vividly because
In McGee?
in the boys' dorm, yeah.
Oh, the boys. Was it in the apartments?
McLeod, not McGee.
I don't remember that. That was
it
like
was like
2014.
one of the first times we hung out. We were playing Pokemon or some shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And for whatever reason, we started wrestling, and I have a vivid memory of like, you're like, "Oh, you're stronger than you look," and it just sticks in my head. And you still ended up beating me because I never wrestled, but I have that vivid memory.
I'll tell you what, man,
give me that compliment.
guys get compliments and we never forget them.
Yeah. If you're a girl, if you're one of the girls who subscribe over 31 subscribers, if you ever see a guy just compliment them, they'll think about you for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Just mean it.
Yes.
So.
You don't even have to mean it. Just act sincere.
Fair enough.
And to that girl at the bar today, thanks for having a boyfriend.
Man, she was thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Don't tell my wife I said that.
I had a nice segue and everything into trying to get her number, and it didn't work.
It was smooth. It was smooth.
Yeah, it was good, dude. Yeah, it was good. But I'll tell you what, boys. I think we ought to wrap this episode up.
I'm saying, yeah, my mouth is dry as heck. I'm out of my
dude.
arse. Hang on, before we go.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So, the people at the cola companies, they like to tell you that there's only 2 colas. You can either like Coke or you can like Pepsi.
You ever seen
But it
That's
doesn't
My
have
Boy?
to. It doesn't have to be a 2 cola system. You can like RC Cola. RC Cola is the supreme third cola. It is the best cola. Mix it with Jaeger.
Somebody needs a bottle upside the head.
Oh man. Yeah. Anyways,
So that's what happens when the 3 of us say, "Let's smoke cigars," and Dakota says, "Let's do an episode of the podcast." Dude.
okay. My wife's gone. I'm gonna do it.
So that was literally not scripted at all. We didn't even know what we were going to talk about until we sat down. Enjoy it.
If you have an idea for a deck tech that you would like to see, I'm always brewing decks. Like in my free time, I'm building stuff. I've got a Gruul deck in the works that I probably will put into paper really soon. But I've always got deck ideas on the low. I'm working on a really super budget list because we haven't done a budget deck yet.
Not really.
Yeah.
We try to always keep budget in mind, but
Yeah, we try not to go
most
super
of our decks
ridiculous.
are $200 or less.
Something like that. So, yeah, if you have a deck that you really want to see built or want to see how us dumbasses will build it and then laugh at it, Put that crap in the comments.
That's what we did with the stick finger deck.
Yeah, we literally showed up and saw Dylan at the LGS, and
Shout out to Dylan.
he was like, yeah, dude, I miss Dylan. He was like, yeah, dude, build old stick fingers. I'm like, okay, it's gonna suck, but okay. But yeah, put that crap in the comments and let us know, because I genuinely would love the challenge of, hey, build this. So,
Kodiak, do you have anything else to add?
No, not really.
Kodiak, give one piece of advice you have learned in your life to our 31 subscribers.
Just life advice?
Life
just
advice.
in general.
Oh, God.
Like, if it's above B cups in Taiwan, it's a dude. Something like that.
If it quacks like a duck. Acts like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's probably a duck.
Sucks dick like a duck? Probably a duck.
There you go.
There we go. Got it. Anyways, we are the Based EDH podcast, and we will see you guys next time. God bless you.
Jesus loves you.
Yes, go to church, start eating meat, and start lifting weights.
Buy a gun.
Yeah, buy a gun, become proficient. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and power that his body is capable of.
Kodiak, say
Baba
something
Booey.
before we stop.